Hey, sorry for being a little late. Today's topic is going to be how do you stay disciplined for the long term or long enough to accomplish your goals? So it's a perfect time right now because it's March and you guys started in January with some goals and you probably kind of fell off the wagon by now or kind of got off track or feel a little defeated. And how do what is the key to staying focused and staying on track, staying disciplined so that you can accomplish it? Because a lot of what you're trying to do is probably make a lifestyle change with health and fitness is what I usually work on or, my gyms work on. And I wanted to share some insight that we teach our clients and we teach our trainers to teach our clients. And what I use personally and from every goal I've ever had. So here we go. So basically the topic is mastering your self-coaching, and I'll explain more to what that's about, and being your own best fan. So just a quick intro about me. I'm not telling you this to boast. I'm just telling you this that I know how to create goals and knock them out and stay disciplined for a very long time to accomplish it in a very fast, period. So anyhow, I'm Julie Hong. I own 4 gyms in Dallas. I've been a trainer for over 14 years, helped thousands of people accomplish their goals, and to maintain a healthy, fit lifestyle is the biggest thing that we work on. My proudest moments are when I see clients years later, they're still like healthy and fit, and they are a changed person from when I first meet them. So that's like the coolest part about my job is like we really affect lifestyle changes. Like people really change and their lives change and they are more in line with who they want to be and who they are. And thank you for the hearts and thumbs up. So I need that. Remember, you guys have to support me on that because I'm trying to get over my fear of speaking in public and in front of the camera. So hearts, thumbs up, keep me going. So I started my first gym at 25 after I saved over $300,000. So started my gyms with no debt. First gym at 25, second one at 27, third one at 29. Third one at 29. Had a baby. Started a family at 31. Another baby at 33. And my fourth gym, which is a new concept to be able to bring personal training or quality personal training to the masses, I started that at 34. So I know a little bit about goals, and I know a little bit about how to knock them out and how to the mindset that it takes to continue on that difficult journey where there's not a lot of rewards. And that goes to like a business, right? Every day really is not that fun, but the overall picture or when you're building something, hey Jamie, when you're building something, you have to have a lot of discipline because every day is not that fun, just like health and fitness. So if you're trying to start your fitness journey or you're trying to make a lifestyle change, like, hey, I want to work out more consistently. I want to be more healthy. I want to make better choices on my food. I just want to eat healthier. I want to lose 20 pounds and keep it off. Well, every day in that journey is not that fun, right? But I have some tips and tricks and a mindset that I can teach you how to attain. Although you've heard self-talk before, I'm really good at explaining like what that means, how to apply it and how to maintain it and how to not lose focus and how to stay on track, right? So we all can be really motivated in the beginning with goals, but can we stick to them? So everybody's got a plan, everybody's got a goal, everybody knows how to eat healthy, everybody knows what they should or shouldn't do, everybody knows they should exercise. But what we do at Fit 180 and LFT personal training and my life's goal is how do I bridge that gap for people? So with their plan and where they want to go and bridging that gap. So making them take action and getting them to stay on the course long enough to become a lifestyle habit, or long enough for them to get the reward and feel it, and then they get hooked, and then it becomes like part of who they are. So a lifestyle change, and that's the trickiest part, right? So we all know how to do what we all know what we should do, but we're not taking action. So what we're good at, or I'm good at, and my business is good at, is getting people to take action and take it consistently and stay on track long enough to accomplish their goal. So my why I'm on Facebook Live, why do I do this thing, is because I have a huge fear of speaking in public and speaking in front of a camera, and I am trying to overcome that, and the only way to overcome it is just to do it. So I'm not perfect about what I'm doing. I'm not a professional speaker. I just speak from the heart, and I speak from my experience, and I speak from what I learned from other clients. And I also speak from like how I've executed. So whatever I'm teaching or whatever I'm talking to you about, like I've been through and I've executed, not only executed, but I've actually maintained it. So, it's one thing to lose, 20 pounds, but it's another thing to lose it and then keep it off for 10 years, right? So you're learning from somebody, or you're hearing from somebody that's done it, and then actually, hey Barb, that actually have not only done it myself and sustained it for a long period of time, but also I have taught others to do it and sustain it for a long period of time. So I've had the businesses for 11, we're going on 10 years. So, and it's doing awesome. So I'm really, really proud of that, because it's a really hard thing to continue to do, especially with family and everything else. So that's my why. And my other why is to help more people. So how do I help more people outside of the gym? I help a lot of people in the gym. But I feel like I feel like I just want to help more people outside of the gym and in the other areas of life. And I also want to help myself by overcoming the fears that I have with public speaking. So anyhow, okay, so we'll start off with mastering your self-coaching and being your biggest fan. Okay, so when I talk about mastering your self-coaching, so I talk to a lot of people, and the main thing, the issue is what they have is that they are negative. They talk to themselves negatively. So we talk to ourselves all day long. So all day we're saying, oh, I can do this, I can do that, oh, I feel tired. So we're constantly talking to ourselves. And we have like a good Julie, and then we have like a bad, like a bad Julie, like a negative Julie, right? So I try to get the good Julie, the coaching Julie, to tell myself good, positive things, or talk to myself in a way that is encouraging. So I think of it like when I think about the things I accomplished, like when I was in high school and I ran, I was a runner, a cross country runner, or I played volleyball and basketball, and I was a freshman on varsity on like every sport. But I never knew that I had that in me. Like I knew I was good at it, and I knew I was athletic, but like as soon as like I had coaches that were just like, Julie, you're like really good at this. Like if you worked hard and you did this, and here's what you do this next, like you could be a freshman on varsity, and you could start, and you could be a captain. So I then the next goal was like, okay, Julie, if you really practiced on it, you could actually get like a full scholarship. So I never really, I think humans, like we're like, I guess, or women, we're just trained or we're just innately like negative or really judgmental or really just, I don't know where it comes from, but we are hard on ourselves. And so I just started to just change my mindset, where I would, whenever I felt like I couldn't do something, I would just think like, what would that coach say to me? Or what would I say to my friend? Or what would I say to anybody that I was trying to help? Like I would look at it very differently. I wouldn't be as critical on myself. I wouldn't be as negative, and I wouldn't be as mean. And so I just started to shift the way I talk to myself and coach myself, really. So I basically coach myself all the time. And example would be, okay, so if I'm starting a gym, okay, it's really, really, if I'm starting a gym, it's really, really hard. Like all this money's flowing out that you've saved for so long, and now it's going out the window, and then, things don't go the way they are. 3 months later, the construction's delayed, and every day you're like, why am I doing this? Like, this is, like, why do I put myself through this? But then I'm like, I tell myself, okay, Julie, you can do this. This is what you've always wanted. You're going to feel good once it's done. Delays are going to happen. It's part of the process. So that talk is what gets me through. That talk is what keeps me disciplined, right? So I have to be my biggest fan. Like if you're not your biggest fan, then who is? Because when you look at the rest of the world and you look at social media, you look at everyone else, everybody's going to have more money. They're going to be prettier than you. They're going to be, they're going to be a better parent. I mean, you can think that very easily because of social media, or because of you look at everybody else and you think that everybody else has it better than you. Well, so I'm saying the world kind of shows you a lot of negative, and so you have to be your own biggest fan, because otherwise you'd just be depressed and you wouldn't get anywhere and you wouldn't do anything. You'd quit all the time. So the main thing is that being negative is not sustainable. So maybe you were negative like like a lot of clients go through law school and they're like, okay, I just gotta get my ass into gear, and I gotta, like, you know, knock this stuff out. And if I knock this stuff out and I just don't do the, you know, you can do it. You're telling yourself things negative, like, you know, don't be a dumbass, or don't be lazy, or all these negative things. Those things are not sustainable for like long-term goals, like a lifestyle change of health and fitness or something like that. So the main thing is to be like self-coaching, and I'll go into how that works and how to apply it, because if we're working on like literally 30, we get clients at 40, 50 years old, or they have 30 years of negative self-talk, or whatever their parents said to them, or their mom said to them, or whoever critiqued them, or whoever judged them, they're replaying that negative loop. And when you do that when you have that negative loop, you actually are going to get frustrated and you quit every time. So you'll be motivated for the first 3 to 4 weeks, and then what happens is you just start to fall off because you don't have the self-coaching tools and the wherewithal or the accountability to maintain that, to get past that 3 to 4 week mark. So that way, that's when the real results come, right? So it's not in the first 3 to 4 weeks of training or working out. You do get results, but it's not really a lifestyle change. You're still really just, you're really just like excited because it's new. So how do we get, you know, master that phase after the newness is worn away, or after you feel like you're not as motivated? And it comes with the self-coaching, and I will teach you in a little bit of how that's applied and how to create that habit so you can just have it for the rest of your life, and it's just how you operate, and that's your MO. And with every goal, that I just use the same techniques with every goal that I want. You know what I mean? So every gym, or however many clients, or however many hours, how many trainers I want to work for me, or what I do in my personal life with my weight, or with my body maintainment, or parenting, or anything. I use the same tech. This is the one thing I always start out with, and I always like make sure I'm in check that it is on point, so that I can, you know, I can stay with the goal or stay disciplined for a long period of time. Okay, so let's start with that. So I'm going to give you examples of fitness, okay, because that's what we typically work with. This is pretty relevant. Everybody had their New Year's resolution. A lot of people didn't stick with it. And that's what I'm really good at, is helping people stick to their goals, and stick to the plan, stay motivated, and execute. And then on top of that, maintain that. So there's a different mindset you have to when you're getting to the goal. And then there's a whole nother mindset you need to have when you're maintaining your goal. So a lot of you guys probably know how to lose weight, or know how to, you know, get that particular certification, or whatever it is. You can get to that goal, but can you maintain that goal for years later? Can you maintain that standard for your body, or can you maintain that, quality of work? And that's the missing link for a lot of people. So first, okay, so because you constantly have these loops kind of going negative, like your worst enemy, like you're always like, oh, I'm fat, or oh, I feel disgusting, or just really negative. What you need to do is, because if you know you're that person that's very hard on yourself, and you don't give yourself a lot of grace, and you're not very forgiving towards yourself, but you're really, you know, I find these people are really forgiving towards other people, but they're not for themselves. You need to start learning how you're treating yourself better. So if you're good to yourself, like a great coach to yourself, like think back about the best teacher you've ever had, or the best like coach you've ever had, and how did they get you to do what they needed you to do? Or maybe when you accomplished something huge, and along the way you heard your mom or your dad or your coach or somebody that you respected said, you know, that keep it up, you're going to do it if you just work a little harder, or if you just make this tweak, or your mentor, and that motivated you. So you have to be able to do that for yourself. Like, you have to have enough self-respect and self love, pretty much, to talk to yourself in that way. And you have to draw on your wins. So you look back at your own history, and you're like, okay, what is the thing that I did? Or like, I had a baby. I remember I was so scared to have a baby. Then I was just like, all right, there are millions of women around the world that do this. Like, I can do this. And like, how am I going to have a baby and work? How am I going to have a baby and run gyms? How am I going to baby and you know, have a good body? All this stuff. But I think about, okay, there are other women or there have got to be other women that have done this, and so if they can do it, I can do it. So I read a lot about stories about autobiographies. So it tells me a lot where people came from nothing or came from a lot of struggle or a lot of trauma, and they overcame it and they became a success, or they were able to accomplish their goals. And that gives me a lot of power, in my mind, saying, okay, so and so can do it, I can do it. Like, what's the difference? That person went through a lot more than I have, because a lot of times you get stuck in your story. Like, I don't have enough time, and I don't have enough money, and I don't have enough knowledge. And so when you don't have enough time, you go, okay, well, I know probably 10 other people that are way busier than I am that make time. Or I know a lot of people that actually have less money than I do, but somehow they get it done. So you first of all have to have that mindset of like, okay, I can do this. I just need to figure out like the right strategy or the right technique, because what I'm doing is not working, right? So I just need to try something else. So for all the people that have negative loops constantly, which is not a sustainable self-talk, it will not last. It will last for a short period of time, but it's not sustainable. So you really have to work on your being more positive and looking at, I don't want to say positive, just look at for what it is. So it's like, hey, I'm on this weight loss journey, I want to lose 20 pounds, and I'm feeling, like, oh, I'm never going to get there, or like, this is really hard, or I didn't lose weight this month. Instead of thinking that, I would think, okay, since I started, like when I started on this journey, what I really wanted was to be healthier, to start working out, to lose weight. Yes, I have a goal of 20 pounds, but I did just lose, 7 pounds in the last 2 months. And no, I didn't lose any weight this month, but that doesn't mean I'm doing the wrong thing, right? Maybe I just need to do a little tweak. So it's not giving up. It's just doing a small change or a small tweak, or just something that makes it different. And so, like I said on my last videos about audiobooks, like you're going to have that in your ear, because you're not good to your own self. Like if we left you alone with yourself, you'd be super negative. And if you're super negative and you're super critical and super judgmental, then you're definitely going to quit, and you're definitely not going to have discipline, and you're definitely going to be like, F it, I'm just going to go eat something crappy, or I'm going to quit because it's not working, which is a lie. It's just, it's that mental talk that you've always told yourself, okay? So the way to change it, and it takes time to change. So it takes months to change. If you are focused on it, it will take you months to get better at talking to yourself. So that's why I always tell you in the last videos, like, have something, have the headphones and a great positive book, or a great book that's like empowering, like those self-help books that help start to teach you how, when other people talk to you, like, what are they saying, so that you know what to say to yourself. Does that make sense? Okay, so the other thing is to have accountability. So when you start this journey of like mastering your self-coaching, or being your biggest fan, you naturally don't have it. It's not a habit yet. It's not intuitive. So what you really need to focus on is like, how do I have this accountability to make sure I'm doing it, right? Because just because you tell, like we get clients, we want clients to eat every 3 to 4 hours, right? So if we say eat it to improve their metabolism. So if we say eat every 3 to 4 hours to improve your metabolism. And they go, yeah, I understand that concept. I get it. Okay, so then they eat every 3 to 4 hours, but they don't have it as a habit because they don't really think about it. So it's not part of who they are, but they understand how they need to execute. Like, that's what they need to execute. So what we tell them is like, have some accountability measures in place. So that's where, you use your calendar reminder, you have accountability, like human accountability is the best. That's why a lot of people have personal trainers, because it's human accountability. The person is there that you are, paying, and they are there for your benefit. And they're like, okay, did you work out? Did you drink? What'd you have for dinner? What'd you do here? Did you eat every 3 to 4 hours? And that is the key. And then when you feel like you're down, that trainer is going to be there and be like, okay, you can do this. Yes, that is difficult. Yes, I do. When I get tired, I get down, or yeah, I do fall off the wagon. So that person helps you by saying, okay, if you did bad yesterday, let's just, do a little extra work today, and then get back on track, and then start logging again. Let's eat clean for the rest of the week, and then have your cheat meal on Friday. So that trainer, that person, whoever's holding you accountable, whatever your goal, I'm just using health and fitness, but that person will start to teach you how their mind operates and how to talk to yourself, okay? Instead of, oh, I messed up, I'm just going to quit. which is what most people do. Like, oh, I got off track, or oh, I went out of town and I just got off track and I just never, got back on. So I say the difference between accomplishing your goal and not accomplishing your goal is not that you fail, it's that the fact that you do fall off track. When you fall off track, how fast can you get back on? So like if you're on the highway to goals and you have to take an exit because you go on vacation or you go out of town for work, like how fast can you get back on the highway, right? Because the difference between who is going to accomplish a goal or make it a lifestyle habit is like the person that gets on the highway, gets back on track faster instead of going on the exit and just going off. I hope that makes sense. And so human accountability and examples, having a personal trainer, and then asking great questions or asking for support. So if 2 months in your journey and you are thinking like, oh, I'm feeling like really, like I don't really feel motivated, or I don't really feel like I can do this, or like I just forgot about that goal. Well, you're going to have to ask somebody who's been there before, or who's your accountability coach, or in this case, you ask your trainer, hey, what do you do when you mess up the whole weekend? Like, what do you do when you drink the whole weekend? Like, how do you stay on course? And they will tell you what they do. It's like, okay, well, I either before I go out of town, I eat really, really clean before I leave. And then when I get back in town, I just step it back up, or I already have a training schedule. I already have a appointment set up for when I come back. So those are the things like healthy and fit people do, and you just need to take in that advice. And how they talk to themselves is, oh, if I'm gonna this weekend, if I'm gonna go out for St. Patty's Day, then I'm probably gonna eat super clean before I go. I'm gonna do maybe a little extra cardio, and then I'm gonna go ahead and have my drinks and party however I want to. But then I already have my appointment set up for the next week, right? So that's how they have accountability. And so the next thing is baby steps. So when you think about your goal, and it's usually something maybe big, or you've never been there before and you're trying to accomplish it, then you got to look at the baby steps. So like, what do I need to do now to be on the right path? So there's your goal, and then you can either go on the path that's towards your goal, or you can go on everything that is not towards your goal. So when you write down the baby steps, and it's in you, it's intuitive. Like, when you sit down and you start to write it out, and you're like, okay, I need to get a personal trainer because I don't know what I'm doing. I need to start food log. I need to start writing things down. I just need to go to the grocery store. I need to make a list before I go to the grocery store. So these little baby steps are like wins, okay? Like, these are little things that you can accomplish each day that helps you stay the course. So I am a big list person or scheduler, and I put things down so that I can just knock it out, so I can feel good and confident and get momentum and feel like I can do this. So I'll literally put, okay, shower, whatever, and I'll mark it out just to feel like I am accomplishing. And I break it down into very small attainable goals every day that so easily, I can easily do. We tell clients, if they've never worked out before and they're like, what, do I need to work out 7 days a week, 5 days a week? I'm like, no, you just need to come in 2 times a week, and that's all we need to do, right? So if they're like, then they usually go, all right, I can do that. Are you sure I need to do 2 times a week? Should I do more? And I say, maybe if you want to go on a walk or you want to do something. So if it's that easy and you can tell yourself it's that easy to accomplish, then you're going to pretty much, it's like a mind trick. It's like a mind game, right? You're going to knock it out. So baby steps. And then every month or so, you're reevaluating what works and what has been working for you, and then what you need to do next, or what's the next level. So if you've mastered food, if you've mastered eating every 3 to 4 hours, right? And you manage to, your goal is to bring your lunch 3 times that week, and you're totally knocking it out. You're super consistent, and now you've got it, you've got a good groove going on. So I suggest each month, or at a scheduled time, you look back and go, okay, this is what's working. This is not working. What habits do I need to get back to? And what things do I need to add that's the next step? Okay, so now that I eat every 3 to 4 hours, do I need to up my protein here, or do I really need to maybe add a little bit more cardio, or do I need to just get back to being a little bit more, not strict, but just rein it in a little bit because you got off track. So just reevaluating, right? Before you just go, I quit. So what is working, what's not working? I look at it like any other goal that I'm trying to accomplish. I don't have a lot of emotions tied to it. I'm like, okay, what's working, what's not working? Let's go back to what's working. Here's what we add. Here's what we need to take away. Here's what we need to go back to, right? And then scheduling that accountability is the biggest thing, because life is going to take you if you don't, if you don't take it. So I'm big on scheduling. I'm big on putting in a reminder or having an accountability is like already in place. So a lot of our clients, they just schedule every week, and if they have their sessions in, they don't have to worry about when am I going to work out, right? Or if I'm going to get a good workout, or if they send in their food logs, they just know like they're going to get feedback, and they're automatically going to do better because of that feedback from the food log. So and then the other thing you constantly should be doing is visualizing the feeling that you'll get from accomplishing your goal. So this is like my go-to when it goes to mastering self-coaching, is as soon as I start to feel bad or feel like defeated or feel like I want to give up or feel like, oh, this thing is hard, I'll start to visualize. I'll do the whole like accountability or go back and look, okay, what am I doing right? What is working? What wins can I celebrate? I did lose, 5 pounds in the last whatever. So I look at that. Then I look at, okay, if I keep, if I clean up the things I needed to clean up and I keep going, and when I get there, I'm going to feel so good. I'm going to feel so proud of myself. I'm going to feel like, I just start to just envision that I'm already there and visualize like how good I'll feel and how proud of my, myself that I feel, or just anything that just gets me in that moment of what I really want. Like one of the big things when I lost 25 pounds and kept it off, like after college, was I always was like, God, I cannot wait to get up in the morning and put on whatever I want to put on and not care about if it's too tight or if it's too whatever. Like I could just wear a trash bag and I would own it, because I would be in line with the values that I felt that were right for me. And so it was not about just losing 20 pounds. It would be like I would be the person that I wanted to be, which is a person that worked out consistently, that watched what they ate, that was confident in their body, that just knew that confidence. And so I visualize a lot about, man, when you wake up in the morning, you're not going to spend 20 minutes trying to figure out what's the best looking thing on your body. I can just put on whatever and then I'll just go because I know that I look good, or I know that I deserve this body because I worked really hard for it and I have good habits and I'm at my goal. So that is like those are the things I'll go over. So listen to, some positive or audiobooks, and it's different than having like the supportive, positive people around you. Just because self-talk is just so ingrained in your psyche that you've been doing it since you were little, that it just takes a constant, like something in your ear to keep you on track and to keep you positive. So, or to keep you looking at the big picture and to keep you looking at your wins and that what you are doing good, and yeah, you might not be doing some things good. So fix those things, but look at, hey, if there's 10 things you should be, executing, you're not executing on 10 doesn't mean you should give up. You should, if you're executing on 7, then you should, 7, then you should go, okay, these are not good and I'm not happy that I'm not there yet, but what am I doing good? What am I getting from it? Okay, now I just need to make these tweaks. So dumb it down or bring it to where it's really easy and simple, and don't be so hard on yourself. And what would your coach tell you, or what would your parent tell you, or what would you tell your kid if they were going through this, right? What would I tell my daughter? I'd tell my daughter to get up and try again, or it's not a big deal, or it doesn't change the goal. You just still stay the course. You just have to try more times. And some people, it becomes easier for some people, and then it's harder for others. Like, I'm not great at math, simple math or math. I had to have a tutor to get an A, but then I know a whole bunch of other Asian people that can get an A right off the bat, and I am not that person. So I just had to work a little harder to get that same A they got, but doesn't mean I quit. Doesn't mean I think I'm like I'm stupid or I can't accomplish it. I may have to work a little harder than other people, but I'm blessed in other ways that they may not be blessed in, or I am thankful for other things, but maybe this area in my life I just have to work a little harder on, right? Or I have to spend money to hire a trainer, because a lot of people go, oh, training is so expensive. I'm like, yeah, but you're not gonna have a trainer forever. I mean, who taught you how to eat right? Who taught you how to, be disciplined? Nobody. So I suggest you probably invest some money in getting the tools that you need, and either if you can't sustain that spending that money, then learn what you need to learn, and get the information you need and apply it and make it a habit. Then you can move on and not have a trainer, for whatever, and then have a trainer again for another life event, But if you have the money, or you need the accountability, because you just do, like I own 4 gyms. I train with our trainers twice a week typically. Now I kind of go in ebbs and flows. So as soon as I had the baby, I trained 3 times a week. When I had my baby, I was trying to lose the baby weight, and then now that I have things under control, I'm not getting ready for anything, then I can do stuff on my own. But as soon as I have another goal, or I need to step it up, and life's really busy that I can't make that extra time or that extra focus for myself, then I get a trainer. Does that make sense? So nothing's forever, but you need to have things in place, or accountability, to help you, because you don't know how this journey goes, right? And you have bad habits that you have to kind of get out of. So I hope that wasn't like a ton of rambling. This was a hard topic because it was so hard for me to narrow down, but I hope that you got some good tips, and I really appreciate you guys tuning in and helping me get past my fear. And also I hope that you got some good stuff, and you're good to yourself, and you give yourself a little grace, and you put some accountability in your life, and you put it on your schedule, and you keep going, and you be your biggest fan. You tell yourself you can do this. Other people have done it before you, or you'd be so proud of yourself when you got to that point. And then there'll be another goal. So if you can master that self-coaching and that being your biggest fan, it translates into everything that you do, and it also makes life so much more enjoyable, in the process of your goal, the process or the journey, so much more enjoyable. You'll feel it. So keep me posted, text me, message me, DM me, whatever. Tell me how you're doing. If you're doing well, look at the other videos, because it's time to get your accountability again. So check in with your relationships, check in with yourself, and figure out what you need to change, what you need to keep doing. And if you have any questions, or you have any things you want me to talk about, just you know how to get a hold of me. And I will talk to you guys later. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Amanda. Thank you, Jamie. You guys are awesome. Thank you. I'm sweating. So nervous.